Hello, my loves. Welcome to Megan's Ghost. My name is Kara, and today I have, surprise, surprise, another fragrance review, this time from 1692. And it is the end of November, but today is when I finally give my last Halloween fragrance review of the year. And there's an important reason that I'm releasing this, and that's because these fragrances, for a really limited amount of time, are back in stock at 1692's website. So I wanted to make sure I had this out because they're not going to be restocked again after this Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. So make sure that you go on their website after you watch my video, preferably, and pick up whatever you thought was interesting. So I purchased from them quite some time ago their discovery set. So it comes in these 2 milliliter bottles, and there are, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fragrances. So that's really exciting. This is a doozy. Each one is 2 milliliter, and I just felt like I got quite an education from 1692 about indie fragrances in general. This really changed my expectations. So to start, one expectation that's so important if you're getting into indie fragrances or indie products in general is to really pay attention to the websites and their turnaround time, or TAT. It took me a long time to figure out what people were talking about on Indie Makeup and More subreddit when they were saying the TAT. So most websites are very transparent about how long it takes them to actually ship out a product after you order it. So when I ordered this, I believe it probably took from hitting submit on my order to opening my package in the mail, I think it took about 5 weeks. So you want to kind of temper your expectations. I know a lot of us will order something and then wait by the window eagerly. It's going to take however long it takes, and usually brands do a really great job keeping you in the loop. I know 1692 would frequently update their website with where they were in processing and shipping, which I appreciated because I like to have something to check. So another thing that really was interesting to me about 1692 was how these fragrances just hit a little bit different. I usually think of perfume as something that I just want to wear to smell good, or something that's going to give me a memory, or kind of just match what's going on in my mood or the weather, something like that. These are different. You certainly can just wear them and smell them and like them, but I really see these more as artistic. They are paintings in liquid form, bottled up, and you can put them on you. They aren't just pretty smelling things. They really make me think of fragrance in a different way, because it is like the owner of the brand who formulates these fragrances has this kind of creativity of a painter and is able to transform that into a fragrance. So it's a whole different sensory, artistic experience. And I found that absolutely fascinating. But let's get into the review. So there are 7 fragrances. As always, I have my notes in front of me because I test these for quite a long time and I'm always testing new things. So in my old age, I need to remember what these actually are. So let's start with Mina Harker. So Mina Harker was a character in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and this is inspired by her. It is originally from the fall 2017 collection, and it's made its way back to 2020. So I'm going to read the notes for you. Cold jasmine tea, ripe plum, black violets, pale skin musk. It is very feminine, and Mina Harker. I'll be honest, if I've seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, it was when I was very small. I'm more familiar with the Treehouse of Horror Simpsons parody. I don't know a lot about this character, but I'm going to tell you that this is the first fragrance I've ever bought that stinks. there's a lot of prettiness in it, but it smells like pretty perfume mixed with feces. I don't know if it is just my body chemistry reacting to this, but I can't stand it. It makes me feel self-conscious. Like I keep smelling it and thinking it's gonna be nice, but then it hits me. I don't know what the note is here that is giving me that kind of stinky smell, but I can't stand it. There are fragrances that I don't like, but I wouldn't describe as stinky, like famously Black Baccarat's Frog's Breath. This isn't a matter of just, oh, I don't like these, kinds of notes like wet soil and grass. This just, it reeks. Maybe that's spot on. I don't know. But I will not ever wear this again if I can help it. What I'm so interested in is other people who have worn it. I have a feeling it's probably very lovable. I have to imagine this is just some kind of reaction with my skin. But if you've ever tried it, please let me know if you have a different reaction. But for God's sake, let's move on. The next fragrance is Bela Lugosi's Dead. This is originally from their fall 2015 collection, and it was inspired by 1980s goth rock. It is a spicy and dark fragrance. Let me read the notes. They are night black clove bud, tobacco absolute, smoked benzoin resin, and flame. This is unisex to masculine, and I would say that none of the notes come through very hard for me. It's more of a nondescript, smoky, dark fragrance. But ultimately, that doesn't really matter to me. I don't smell it and I'm like, oh, I can't smell any tobacco absolute. It doesn't bother me. What makes this one of those artistic kind of fragrances is that it really does evoke this kind of atmosphere of being at some kind of concert. You would wear this if you're going to a goth rock concert. You would smell this if you were there. I think that this really bottles that experience in a really remarkable way. So I would say Bela Lugosi's Dead is a winner. Something to note about this fragrance, and also when we get to it, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. These are premium fragrances, so that means that it's not filled all the way like the others are, which is a shame because it smells so good. So that is Bela Lugosi's Dead. It has kind of like this like edgy teenage hit to it. I can't even explain how this perfume has that kind of vibe. But speaking of a vibe, let's go to one of the absolute winners in terms of atmosphere for this collection, and this is Loser's Club, which is originally from the fall 2019 collection. The notes are rain-drenched iron, distant circus lights, candy floss, a red balloon. This is a unisex fragrance and it absolutely floored me. Would I wear this? No. And the reason is because it smells like rubber balloons. It smells exactly like a balloon. I would never have an occasion to wear this unless I was doing a Pennywise the Clown kind of Halloween costume. But I would keep it and cherish it forever and maybe put it on some evening just for the sheer novelty. I was smelling this on my wrist over and over again because every time I was in disbelief. This not only smells like balloons, but it evokes a really specific kind of atmosphere. So this is, if you're not aware, inspired by the movie It, the remade movie of It, I imagine. And in the movie's all about children who are experiencing these supernatural things. And I love how this evokes kind of that feeling that something's wrong, that you can't articulate it, that slow moving, insidious feeling of dread. It doesn't make me feel that way. It just smells like that feeling, but more than anything, it's smelling like rubber balloons. I can't get over how artfully this is done. It's unbelievable. I would take that out at parties and have people smell it. It's a piece. I love it. Next, I Be the Witch of the Wood from Halloween 2018. The notes are wheat and straw, dark forest, poisoned apple, chimney smoke, fur, and blood. This is a feminine scent, and I had someone ask me about a good witch scent a couple videos ago. So I've got two. This is one of them. This smells to me like incense. It smells like you walked into a metaphysical shop. It starts out, yes, it starts out really nutty and like a dessert. And then it transforms as you wear it to this more dark smell. So I would think of this as kind of like a Hansel and Gretel kind of witch. A witch that's going to lure you, maybe appear very beautiful, and then suddenly shock you. It smells wonderful through and through. I particularly like the initial kind of nutty scent the most. I love it. I wrote here, lures you in and then takes a turn. And I think that's the best way to describe this. I Be the Witch of the Wood. Excellent if you want to smell like a witch. And also, it is just one of those nice fragrances that you could just wear. You don't have to be a witch. Next is Death by Stereo, and this is from the Fright Night 2017 collection. So let me read the notes for you. Night air on the boardwalk, sponge sugar and cider, melted ice cream, cannabis accord, whirling tendrils of Nag Champa. This is a masculine scent to me, and I think the cannabis and Nag Champa, please tell me if I'm not saying that right, they come in the strongest. Honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed by this, not because it smells bad, but because it doesn't smell like the notes I was expecting. So going back here, sponge sugar and cider, melted ice cream, I was stoked for that. This doesn't. It's a very bright smell, not gourmand. I would say that it's a dark atmospheric, and they advertise it as dark atmospheric, but they also say that there are gourmand undertones, and I don't get that at all. I think it's nice. It's a really good fall night kind of scent. Like I said, it's dark. There's this brightness, this wetness to it. I'm personally just not getting the gourmand that I hoped. I wonder if I just smelled this without having any anticipation, if things would have been different. For what it's worth, according to the website, it is a bestseller. But I kind of wondered if it's a good reseller, because I would have picked this up blind if I didn't want to get the whole sample, but I don't think I'd repurchase it. I'm really interested to know what you think, though. I'm also just not a huge fan of the cannabis smell. To each their own. Next is Book of the Beast from their Halloween 2019 collection. Notes are wet leaves, burned parchment, a roaring bonfire, inky night sky, and a slice of leftover birthday cake. This is a unisex fragrance, and it's surprisingly seductive. But it takes, I smell that cake out of the bottle. It's very seductive, but then it takes this sharp turn. Not to anything bad, but something that's dark. It always has an underlying sweetness to it, but it just gets so dark. let's see, what do I think that is? It's probably all the fire and probably that inky night sky atmospheric inside of here. I think this is one of my favorites of this collection because I love the name. I think that this is a great aesthetic. It makes me think of like the Antichrist, right? Because the whole idea is this person who's able to seduce the masses and is very appealing and, charismatic, someone that you would love to be around, but is evil and is hiding the secret. And it's just all this stuff underlying their facade. That's what I love about this. This is a fragrance that tells the story of what the Antichrist is, at least in my mind. So I just think it's a very clever scent, and it absolutely leaves you smelling it over and over and over again. You can't stay off your own wrist with this. It smells absolutely amazing. But it's a mask for what's lurking underneath. So really like that spooky scent. Next is Spellbound. This is from their fall 2015 collection. The notes are creamed pumpkin, spiced bourbon, and Tahitian vanillas, sticky marshmallow fluff. This is feminine. It starts out very confectionery and then dries down to a light, powdery, boozy smell, which I love. It gives me the vibes of the last carousel from Black Bacara's collection that I somehow managed to bring up in every video that I make because I love it so much. I think of magic when I smell this. It is very just sweet and whimsical. I really like this fragrance. I'm a little disappointed by the lasting power, but I think that's probably because I don't have the full size. I'd be reapplying this all day. Yes, this is not like a dark witchy scent. This is just like a magic good witch kind of scent. So like a Glinda, if you like that kind of thing. And I do. So it puts a smile on my face. Really, really like those boozy notes, that bourbon, the vanilla. It's sticky, it's fun. I love it. And I just want to keep smelling it. I almost forgot how much I liked that one because the next fragrance is actually my favorite from this whole collection. But damn, if that isn't coming in second, I might have to be on their site for Black Friday. But the final fragrance and my personal favorite, if you're gonna pick one up, that'd have to be a toss-up. Well, let's talk about it first. We're Werewolves, Not Swearwolves, from their Halloween 2019 collection. The notes are ambroxan, trampled moss, soft tonka, boozy vanilla, smashed pumpkin, black coffee, acid-washed denim, and wild gray musk. It is another one of their premium scents. It is unisex, and it is my favorite. It has a top note of smoke, and it comes heavy with the coffee. It is coffee-y, nutty, boozy, and it's amazing. It is so wonderful. It gets a little sweet, and it always stays dark. If you like coffee shops, if you like the movie or film that it's based off of, what is that called? It's gonna bother me. I saw the movie and I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, this is great. It's not your cloudy day in London at a coffee shop kind of fragrance. It is dark. It's got a little bit of an attitude to it, and I think that's all the booziness that's mixed in. But I absolutely love this. Surprising, because it has that note of trampled moss, but it gets lost in everything else. I think it adds to the atmosphere of the fragrance, but I don't smell like someone threw a bunch of wet leaves on me, so that's nice. So in terms of what I think you have to get, you do have to get Werewolves, Not Swearwolves. I kind of want you to get Spellbound because I want you to have a good day. I also want you to get Book of the Beast because I think I'm just captivated by this. My mother would die if she heard me say that. And I think that if you want something fascinating and unique and unlike anything you've ever smelled before, you have to pick up Loser's Club. I think Loser's Club is perfect if you are a collector of good fragrance, of unique artistic fragrance. Get you some Loser's Club. If you want to just smell awesome, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. Also, really consider Book of the Beast and Spellbound. They are my favorites for this collection. So, I hope that was helpful. If you have any reviews for fragrances, brands, candles, bath products, anything like that, you let me know. And in my next review, I'll be coming back with something that I bought to get ready for Thanksgiving and the winter holidays. And I'm going to have more for you than just fragrance. So stay tuned for that in a couple weeks. If there's any feedback you have for me, any criticism, anything you can do to help me make these videos better, please let me know. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.